What's happening? Big Shay reporting for duty. Welcoming you back to another episode of the Yellow Cafe Podcast. And what we want to speak on this morning is a conversation that was held between Cam Newton, Nick Cannon, and Cheyanne Jacobs, I believe her name is. What's so interesting about this is most definitely something that I wanted to touch base on a long time ago. Y'all are gonna hear me say that about a couple of things, and I need to stop procrastinating and stop worrying about people's feelings and their thoughts and opinions and just start dropping these videos when I know they need to be dropped or when I feel led to drop them. But me personally, I have been just taking a look at Nick Cannon in particular. I've been wanting to speak on him for some time now, and Cam Newton as well, not just as men or as if I'm someone to be able to speak on these successful men's lives, but the aspect of what they do with their children and the amount of children that they have and the type of deficiencies or low self-esteem issues that I feel that so many of these men are dealing with. Nick Cannon in particular, because I just take a look at his whole rise to fame and how, I hate to say this, and I'm not trying to be malicious with this, but he never was the most street dude or the most hard dude or the most gangster type dude. Like, we never got that image from Nick Cannon. And it seems like once he got embraced into the culture, really, with the Drumline movie and whatever else came after that, it's like once he started getting his position in the culture and some respect in the culture and making a few different moves and having people really proud to rep him, I just started seeing actions that it looks like were done because the black community agrees with those type of things or understands those type of things. It's almost like now you want to act like the rest of your community or culture. Like, I don't think Nick Cannon was raised in that type of environment of just streets, hood, anything. I could be wrong, but I mean, based on how he act since we first saw him, how he conducts himself now still to this day, we know he's not street. Now, I'm not saying like he needs to be street. Like, that's a good thing. We don't care about that. But sometimes those people care about the image that they're putting out, and they want a particular type of image put out there. It's like this image with him with these kids and trying to play like he's some type of king or all deep with this religion and all type of stuff that he studies and looks into. All of that to me is a cover-up for like a lame individual. And I hate to say that like that, because it's not about being lame, being real, being this, being that. But so many people get caught up in that lifestyle. When I see him and I see a man who's just trying to rep on all of the children that he has. But see, that's the thing. A lot of times when people are trying to be something that they're not, they do things that have consequences that they don't even see, that they don't even realize, because they're so focused, so busy on being something that they're not in tune with themselves to be looking around at their life for what's real. I myself am a victim of that. You spend a lot of years lost, ripping and running in the streets, ripping and running with crowds you have no business being with. And by the time you look up, a lot of things that should have had your attention, you neglected. And you're not able to see these things until it's too late, or until now there's a problem already occurring or arising. So when you sitting here trying to be real, trying to be with this woman, trying to be with that woman, trying to wife this star or trying to wife that star, all you doing is just making all of these children all over the world that are going to be without their father. And money cannot replace that. So you try to be something that you're not, or creating problems that the devil is sitting back just salivating over. And you have no idea, because you're trying to be real for some people over here, and the whole time you're not being real to yourself and to God. So I'm not saying that to judge him, to criticize him, to make him out to be evil or anything. There's a difference between evil and stupidity. Sometimes folks just don't know any better. And that's why you have to say something about it or speak to him about it. But let's get into this clip a little bit more deeper.
Cam Newton has gone viral again. The great NFL star quarterback appeared
And let's not ever question that. He is a great NFL star. Let's not ever take that away from Cam Newton. Too cocky for his own good? Yes. But did he have a career that I would be proud of? Most definitely. Not all of the most proudest moments, but he was good enough. He was great enough.
With Dr. Bryant, I don't know if y'all know this sister, but she is a therapist. She is compelling. She is brilliant. She's super interesting. I wasn't super.
Now listen, he's giving all of these props to this woman. I don't want to go against that, but I don't just run and go to... I have a real issue running and praising folks who just try to claim titles, especially women. You can feel however you want to about that. But there's a difference between women who have to work to provide for their family and women who want to be known for their position in society. There's a major difference in that. People who just have to work and go out there and grind because their life is not in the best predicament to follow God's plan the way that he would have them to follow it. So they may have to work or do some things that are not exactly the way that God would want them to do it. But there's a difference in those women who are honestly working unto the Lord and the women who want these titles and all of this type of stuff just so that they can act like something that they're not. That's a huge problem and a huge difference. You know what the difference in those two women are? Vanity. Like, I can't be around people who always say, oh, I'm doctor this, oh, I'm doctor that. I say, put doctor in front. Ma'am, you are a human. Whatever schooling you have gone through that you feel is that you're so proud of, that everyone else has to call you a certain type of name, you did those things for yourself, not for us. You did those things so you could feel proud about yourself, so that you can be proud of the work that you put in. Don't think that you went and got those titles so that you impressed us, so that you can impress us. So that now we can ooh and ah. Yeah, there's certain type of dudes that are going to do that to you, but they're more of the simp category. You understand what I'm saying? Look, there's a lot of different categories and factors in this story, but we're going to break it down.
Aware of her until recently, but she's been reading people they write, and it was so interesting to watch her give Cam Newton a very thorough breakdown of himself and his choices. In particular, Cam Newton was talking about his desire maybe to have more kids. For context, Cam Newton got 8 kids by 3 women, and he's saying he wants more kids.
That's just wow. Not only is that wow, that's immature and it's irresponsible. I'm not just saying that just to be saying it. Like, that is irresponsible. And it's selfish.
But he doesn't think he wants marriage. Here's what the exchange. He just watch for yourself.
People see my situation and not think that I'm not high functioning.
What situation?
See my situation. That's a very vague question, and this for you.
What situation?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm rubbed the wrong way already. First off, this conversation does need to happen with Cam Newton and with Nick Cannon. But you want me to drop a bombshell on you? This isn't the individual who needs to be having this conversation. First off, as a woman who's supposed to be representing marriage and everything good and great about marriage, first off, your facial expression, the second that you balled your face up and you was ready to, cut Cam off, to what situation? Like, I already don't like your attitude. And obviously I've seen this interview already, so I know what comes after. So that's why I kind of have this feeling. But ma'am, you're sitting here with your breast popping out of the top of your shirt like some hush puppies. Like, I could be here lusting over you while we're supposed to be talking about getting my marriage together. How are you helping me? What's happening? Big Shay reporting for Duda. Look, I just want to say I most definitely appreciate the views and any interactions. I've had a few people reaching out to me, sending direct messages and things like that. What I need for you to do is make sure you are subscribed, like the video, leave a comment. No matter what it is, just leave a comment. If you want the word, the message to spread, to grow, if you want to contribute and be a part of the Yellow Cafe community, just do that for me so that we could get this message spread out. Make sure you like. It takes no time. It costs you nothing. Subscribe. It costs you nothing. It takes you no time. Leave a comment for me. You understand? That's all you have to do. If you're rocking with us, you can go find the plate emoji. If you're in the Yellow Cafe podcast and you came here to eat, drop a plate emoji, drop whatever. But just show some interaction so we could grow. Appreciate you. One. And just for the record, y'all do know that this woman is single, has no children whatsoever, and is trying to teach folks about happy marriages. Now, this much I will say. Even when I was a preacher and I was preaching at a young age, there were certain situations in terms of marriage and family life that I knew I couldn't speak on with confidence and expertise because I had never been there. But you have to admit that. You have to kind of beat that story home. You have to be able to take advice from others and be open to hear people's opinions, hear what's really going on, because you don't know what's going on fully because you've never experienced and lived through these things. So you have to know that. But the worst thing that you can do is act as if that doesn't matter. Oh, it doesn't matter that I'm single. Oh, it doesn't matter that I don't have any kids. I can tell you about your predicament. No, you can't. No, you can't. Go get yourself a husband. Go get yourself a family before you come out here trying to tell us about our family. You have no family, no backing whatsoever to stand on in this particular situation. And not only, there's many different reasons why you're the wrong person for this conversation. But just to be honest, as a man hearing this from another woman, all we're going to think is you're just trying to tell us what's best for you and other women. You're just trying to weaken us, to put us in a position that is more suitable for you and your associates, your female associates. This is going to be ineffective. Because even in the midst of a conversation like this, I could see a man trying to flirt with you. You're already dealing with men who are toxic. You're already dealing with men who are immature. You're already dealing with men who are irresponsible. And then you have the nerve to come in there with your titties popping out the top of your shirt like these same men are not going to be attractive and weak for you. See, I see through things like this. Like from the moment you step into the room, I'm looking like this isn't going to go well. This isn't going to be beneficial. You're not even dressed the part. That's like if you're going to get counseling from your pastor and he comes in with like some tight shirt on, showing off all his muscles, and you sitting there with your wife trying to get counseling, and here this dude is in some tight gray sweatpants and a muscle shirt. Yeah, I just came from the gym, y'all. That's not professional. That's not professional. That doesn't show the spirit or the aura or the image of the individual who I came to meet. There's a time and place for all of these things. And a lot of people tell on themselves without even opening their mouth and don't even realize it. But this conversation needs to come from another man who was telling another man you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You don't look cool out here. You're doing our community dirty. You're doing our women dirty. You're doing our children dirty. You're doing our culture dirty. That has to come from another man. Another man has to step up and not be a follower and just telling these dudes, you can do whatever you want, man. You got the bag. You got money. No, a man needs to step up with wisdom and tell these individuals, you are not conducting yourself as a man, brother. You're not. That's when it hits different. When the people that you think you're impressing, when the people who you think that you're cool come to you and say, that's not it, bro. That's not it. That hurts the pride of a man. Listening to a woman say these things, you're just going to sit there and just be like, anyway, I could get you too. You feel me?
Are you referring to that they're looking at and thinking is not high functioning?
Just my life.
Your life entirely, or your life in relationships?
My life.
See, don't deflect. Let's stay here. Your life entirely, or your life in relationship?
Now, see, I'm with her on that. Like, Cam, don't try to be cute right now. We're trying to have a conversation. We're trying to have a talk. Don't try to be cute. See, that's a sign. But people don't pick up on these signs because we're so willing to blind ourselves from the signs with monetary gains, or with hopes of a good future, or with hopes that we could change someone. But I'm with her on that. Cam, stop the plan. You see that we here talking. Don't try to be cute. Don't try to cute your way out of this situation. We talking, bro.
Both, really.
And they think that you're low functioning.
No, I don't.
And at the same time, too, though, I'm telling you, her attitude just blows me. Because even as a woman, if you want to be in this predicament, you need to understand you're dealing with men. Watch your mouth. watch your tone and show the same respect that you're saying ought to be seen from these women that we ought to be looking for and desiring to make our wife. You need to be that woman in your image and your appearance. You cutting me off and trying to, like, this is mother energy that she's giving. This is, see, it's energy. It's cool for my mama to cut me off. It's cool for my auntie to cut me off. It's cool for grandmama to cut me off and read me my rights. You as a woman on my equal playing grounds, you better watch your mouth. Just flat out, period. You have to watch your approach. You can't just come talking to me in any kind of way and expecting me to just bow myself to that. Because even if I do, now you got a man who's dealing with some mama issues, who's bowing down to women. You're not going to get that man to be a man to a woman, a man to a family, a man to a wife. You're already training him to be submissive on the slick. That's why this isn't a good position for her to be in. She needs to be talking to other women about how to keep themselves clean, how to keep their lives clean, how to keep everything that they do about themselves out of the streets, not to be busybodies, just like the Bible teaches our women to teach our other women. It teaches our older women to teach the younger women. Don't come try to talk to the stars and be some type of famous psychiatrist. Go do the work in your community with the women that need the help. Teach the young women to not dress like you. Teach the young women to not have their titty. Listen, one thing I see about women, especially women who may have one body part that's bigger than the other, they may have a lot of chest, but they don't have a lot of backside. Or they may have a lot of backside, but they don't have a lot of chest. What I notice about our young women is they will promote the area of their body that they feel is the most attractive. And I feel sorry for them, because you'll see young ladies who may not be all that blessed on the backside. You see them with their titties popping all out their shirt. They got a turtleneck on and titties popping out the top of it. Because they're going to show that feature. They're going to show that asset. They're going to show that thing that most attracts men. If they feel they thick in the bottom, they thick in the waist, they thick in the backside, there's going to always be tight pants on, tights, shorts, biker shorts, stuff like that. They're always going to promote the asset that they want to attract people with. And I feel sorry for them every time I see that, because I'm just sitting there like, baby, you don't have to sell yourself like that. Like, if these dudes don't like you, forget them. Don't prostitute yourself just to get the attention of one of these little clownish young men that will not even be mature for another 10 years. Don't do yourself like that, baby. Don't sell yourself short like that. I can see straight through you. You don't think that your mind is enough to attract a man, so you need to get him stuck physically first. But you just don't understand there's many men looking at that and classifying you already. See, just like I said, point proven again. So many people, when they're trying to be something that they're not, they don't even understand the signs that they give off. Because people who really are like that know the signs. And you don't even know. The same way how people who are trying to get out of the streets are trying to get out of the streets. But then people who want to look like they're from the streets are running to the streets. So you do things that people in the streets don't even do. You do things that people in the streets trying to get out the streets don't even do. Why? Because you're doing things trying to look like you're in the streets, not even realizing that people who are in the streets don't do those exact things because they want to get out the streets. Or they're so much in the streets, they don't want people to know that they're in the streets. Why? Because they're really in the streets. Whereas you, who has no real street connections, wants everybody to know you and wants everybody to think you're in the streets. Why? Because if anybody ever cracks down on you, ain't no crimes gonna be found anyway. You gonna be clean. Whereas someone who has ties to real criminal organizations shouldn't be out here promoting how much in the streets they are. Even though some of them do it. It's dumb, but they do it because they see everybody else doing it. Monkey see, monkey do. But just look at this woman's face. I don't mean to just be talking bad about her, but no one with their titties popped out with that much makeup on, with a chain that says doctor on it because they're so caught up in that title, you can't talk to me about righteousness. You need to be taught yourself. And so many people that we put in positions of leadership today need to be led themselves. Status does not make you certified. Come on, brothers and sisters, everybody line up. This message is for everyone today.
You just said people see your life and think you're not high functioning. The opposite of that would be low functioning.
No. Okay, so here you go. You're trying to take my intentions away from this. Can I correct it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Or can I give you?
And see, Cam is going to say that this woman is trying to take his intentions and this and that. And it's not really that. It's just that when you're dealing with someone like you that's full of so much crap, that just tosses around so much word salad, trying to sound like this and sound smart, like, yeah, you're going to feel that way because we're trying to figure out what you're saying. You're saying a whole lot of nothing. And that's something that individuals like this tend to do. Cam thinks he's smarter than everybody in the room. Is that a complex from being a millionaire? Possibly. Is that a complex from being extremely talented? Possibly. But I mean, there's no doubt about it that Cam Newton is a God-gifted individual. From his height to his size, to his skill, to his talent. Like, he was made for football. He has a gift from God to be able to do that, or anything else in life that he wanted to do. Because I'm quite sure Cam is an extremely intelligent individual. He talks well. He talks very well. You understand? To the point to where, you know, I try to improve my speech looking at him. I love how he talks. He talks well. But there's a God complex that a lot of our stars have. And they think that their gift of gab is just undetectable or unbeatable. And that's so far from the truth.